Every game says it's a masterpiece, but let's be real, most of them are lying.
Welcome to Good, Great, or Garbage, the series where I play games that you're talking about and some that you probably should have ignored. We're talking new releases, underrated gems, and just some overhyped disasters. And there can only be three outcomes: good, great, or garbage.
Please do keep in mind that these are all my personal opinions based on my experience with the game at the time of recording. I may not know everything about the game, so just bear with me.
Greetings, Jadanuskes, and welcome to another wonderful episode of your favorite series, Good, Great, or Garbage. Today's game is Pokemon Brickbronze, or a remake to be exact. One of the best games to ever touch the Roblox platform, and if you think otherwise, you just weren't there. Pokemon Brickbronze was a game far beyond its time. You know, back in the day when the platform was all obbies and spammy leveling games, Pokemon Brickbronze was a light in the darkness, a path to a new road. The story, the Pokemon, the experience. Pokemon Brickbronze really had everything figured out so early on. Everything but one thing: copyright. The death of Pokemon Brickbronze was none other than the deadly DCMA strike. For those who don't know what that term means, it's pretty much just copyright. The devs tried to find workarounds to bring Pokemon Brickbronze to the platform by renaming the game or just uploading again, but ultimately failed at every attempt and left the project to fade with time. Later on, the devs would go on to create Lumion Legacy, I'm pretty sure. And while it's a good game, it just didn't hit the same as Pokemon Brickbronze. Now, I actually progressed through Lumion Legacy and enjoyed quite a bit of it, but it was just so different from Pokemon Brickbronze. But today's video isn't about Lumion Legacy. Today, we dive into how good Pokemon Brickbronze currently is in 2026. Is it still a wonderful game, or was it just a nostalgic piece of our childhood that can never come back? There's tons of Pokemon Brickbronze remakes that exist on the Roblox platform today, but the main two are Pokemon Bronze Forever and Pokemon Warrior Conquest. Both of these remakes are very well known amongst the current Pokemon Brickbronze community that still exists, with each game having its respective differences. For example, Bronze Forever is the more popular remake that offers a calmer and more nostalgic Pokemon Brickbronze experience, while Warrior Conquest is the lesser known remake offering more available content as far as capturing Pokemon and evolutions, but having a higher difficulty that can be quite upsetting at times. Both of these remakes are very good copies that offer their own respective differences, as well as continue on with the story from where Pokemon Brickbronze stopped, and save player data. While they both still have the problem of, the DCMA strike, they get taken down pretty much instantly. They come right back up in like a few minutes. So if you're interested in playing either of these games, or just, going down a trip down memory lane, the link to both of them can be found in the description of this video, assuming the link doesn't get erased from the face of the earth. Now that we all know about the Pokemon Brickbronze copies, the game in specific I'll be reviewing is Warrior Conquest. While revisiting an old game you used to play as a kid often feels underwhelming and boring, Warrior Conquest was actually kind of fun. I've always been pretty interested in Pokemon, so the second I heard Rayquaza and other legendary Pokemon could be captured instead of being locked behind a paywall gacha system, I was instantly hooked. So much so that I actually was playing this game instead of recording this video. This video is probably supposed to come out 2 episodes of Good Garbage ago, but I was playing the game. Pokemon Warrior Conquest has quite a few pros that still make the game enjoyable in 2026. You already know how I feel about music, and Warrior Conquest definitely has the old nostalgic tracks, along with some newly added ones. Now, I won't give it its full flowers here because these are just the old tracks from Pokemon Brickbronze. There's no real additional ones, but for the nostalgic feeling, I'll give it to them. The variety in Pokemon you can actually obtain is amazing, bro. They even have Dynamax Pokemon for Pokemon Go. Both remakes get pretty consistent updates and, are pretty open to a lot of community suggestions, so there's a lot of new implementations and updates, some small and some big story extensions. The difficulty in this game is kinda hit or miss though. It really does make you consider your team composition over favoritism. So if you're trying to just run, your straight dragon only team, you better get ready, because there's going to be a counter to that later on in the story. If you want to progress throughout the story, there's no main character feeling when fighting other Pokemon trainers in this game, because they do as much damage as you do, if not more. Like I said, it's hit or miss. You either like it or you don't. For where it's at in 2026, it's not a bad game, and I find myself spending hours on this game sometimes. I just like farming Pokemon. Now, as y'all know by now, if you've seen any previous content of mine, I like to keep a lot of my ramblings short and sweet, so I won't be going down a long list of everything good that this game does. As always, there's no better experience than your own, so if you want to really see what this game is like in 2026, give it a try for yourself. Now onto the cons of this game, and why some players just won't return to Brickbronze copies. The starting point, and the most obvious, is it's just boring. At the end of the day, not everyone likes Pokemon games, no matter how popular they are. And to be honest, a lot of Pokemon games put me to sleep sometimes. So anyone that doesn't like this type of game isn't wrong for not liking it, it's just not their cup of tea. The difficulty in both Warrior Conquest and Bronze Forever have their own individual cons, so I won't be covering both games. Like I stated earlier, today's video is primarily about Warrior Conquest. In this game, you are not the main character. Every trainer will low-key put hands on you, so if you aren't prepared, you better be. You gotta get to farming or something, man. In late game, you really have to strategize, or the trainer you're trying to beat is pretty much just an impossible task. Again, this is a 50-50 point, alright? People like difficulty, some people don't. Bronze Forever, calm, Warrior Conquest, competitive. Two different games here. While some people might find it, a bit irritating, I think it's a pretty intriguing aspect that makes you lock in at times. So I enjoy it. The outdated systems. While overall this game is still enjoyable to play for hours on end, a lot of the systems and graphics are just outdated. We got new and upcoming Pokemon games that have wonderful graphics, wonderful story, wonderful progression that Brickbronze just hasn't extended off of. Games like Pocket Anime and some other upcoming Pokemon games. Graphically and gameplay wise, mechanically, Pokemon Brickbronze just lags behind because it's an old game and they haven't taken that step to remaster what the old game was. They're just building off of an old script. I feel this game should really get a graphical rework, including new animations, new Pokemon appearances, and more. Now, I don't know how much they can change, but should they ever want to step out the realm of being just a copy, a remake or a remaster is essential for that. And the last point I'll mention for this segment is just being a remake. Now, this is a neutral point because I just kind of explained it, and the devs of both remakes expand and add off where Pokemon Brickbronze ended, keeping that nostalgic feeling without altering the core of the game. Kind of like a beacon of home for your inner child if you played Brickbronze. But again, there's a lot of outdated systems and graphics in this game, so I think this game should continue taking a step in a new direction while adding completely unique additions to the story. Along with reworks, tweaks to the old systems, this game will always be enjoyable, so why not just improve off of it? It'll always have that nostalgic feeling of being Pokemon Brickbronze, so why not just give it a remaster? More people will play. Anyway, I rambled on for a little bit over the minute now, so I'll just wrap this up here. While a shorter video, that's kind of really all I wanted to cover on this game. Pokemon Brickbronze is just more of a nostalgia game. It's not bad, it was a great game, and it's good now if you like Pokemon Brickbronze. With that, if you want to see more content of mine, be sure to hit the subscribe button and check out the playlist page on my channel page to see more content I made. If there's any devs or CC managers that want me to review their game, be sure to hit me up on Discord at atsuya__. And with that, hope to catch you on the next episode of Good, Greater Garbage. Peace.